What is going on, everybody? It is Giants Nick here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be going over the next team on my list of NFL preseason previews, post-free agency edition. And today, before I tell you who we're going to, make sure you sub to the channel, like all the vids. I have a playlist of all the things I've done so far with all the NFL teams. So far, we've done the entire NFC East, the Giants, the football team, the Eagles, and the Cowboys, and did the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Jets. So today, you can imagine who I am doing, the Patriots. So the Patriots are the team for today. And the Patriots are a really interesting ball club for this year. So New England, I feel like, has done a great job this offseason. But before we get into that, first of all, they have some opt-outs coming back. Donta Hightower, an outstanding linebacker, is coming back to the Patriots this year. And so is safety Patrick Chung. So they're going to get a little bit better. So now they can match up, Chung with McCourty back there. And, Hightower will be, back in the force of the middle of that defense. And it's really important that they're getting some of these guys back due to opt-outs. They did have more opt-outs than any team in the NFL last year and still went 7-9, which I think is pretty impressive. So let's get into their free agency. They did a nice job in free agency. So first off is Jalen Mills. They signed Jalen Mills after he, elected for free agency with the Eagles. And it's a solid signing. He's a hybrid guy. He could play cornerback. He could play safety. He could play slot. It's definitely a good signing here. You can match him up with Gilmore and J.C. Jackson and kind of just go from there. Next is Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry is one of two tight ends they signed this offseason to big contracts. Hunter Henry is he's a good ball player, put it that way. He's not the fastest guy, but he is that typical I can block, but I will also catch everything you throw my way, red zone target, big body tight end. I like Hunter Henry personally. I always have. I always thought he's a good ball player, and I enjoy watching him play on Sundays. And it looks like he'll be playing now in New England. He signed, I believe, a 4-year contract. So did Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith was the first big signing of free agency. He signed a 4-year deal with the Patriots, I believe, for, I want to say, about $13-14 million a year. Here's a guy who has a lot of potential but hasn't really shown it on all levels yet. I think Belichick and the Patriots are kind of very hopeful with this signing. I think what their goal is to surround whatever quarterback ends up starting their games down the stretch, to help them out. I think this was all to help out whoever's playing quarterback. I don't think Bill liked watching Tom win a world championship, win a Super Bowl last year. So yeah, I think this move is part of that. Gronk left too. Gronk won again, so he reloaded up on his tight ends, and he got two good ones. Let's put it that way. Next is Cam Newton, and this is kind of going off the quarterback room. Cam Newton is one of the additions. Again, he re-signed with the Patriots for a 1-year, $14 million deal, and I don't even think this deal for the Patriots is all about Cam Newton. I think this deal is sort of one of those, you get the veteran guy who knows the system, who was here last year, who'll have a time. He'll get better within the system. I think Cam will get better. I still worry about Cam's shoulder. You see usually towards the end of seasons, Cam's shoulder kind of gets weary, worn out. He looks like he's in pain throwing the ball after week 12 usually, and he put his body a lot at risk in his career, and that's how we got to this point. But it's besides the point whether Cam Newton is going to be their quarterback or not. He will be starting week 1, but I think this opens the door for them to draft a quarterback. I think they're in love. They said they're in love with Justin Fields. I could see them moving up in the first round for Fields. I could see them trying to jump up and jump over Carolina. Personally, I believe that Mac Jones is kind of their second option. I think Wilson and Lawrence are kind of pipe dreams that would never happen. And it looks like Trey Lance, in my opinion, is going to go 3 to the 49ers. So I think Cam is going to be this placeholder until the rookie's ready. If it's Lance, especially going at 3, you'll have either Mac Jones or you'll have Justin Fields. And I think Cam can teach a lot to these young guys. And, some people may think Cam has a great personality. Cam is a guy who loves the game, and he just wants to win. And I think if, he has to help somebody win and they have to play roles and the young guy plays late in the year, I think Cam's going to do that. So I definitely think they're going to go after a quarterback they love Fields, but I also think that Carolina loves Lance, and if they can't get Lance, they will go Fields. So, that's something to keep an eye on. If there's quarterbacks there around pick 10 or 11, look for New York or Dallas to trade back and collect more draft capital. But that's it for the quarterbacks. They signed Nelson Aguilar along with Kendrick Bourne. Aguilar had a good year last year. I was actually impressed with Aguilar. I think he did a lot better job than we were all expecting. And, he kind of resurrected his career over in Las Vegas. He didn't seem to have the catching troubles that he had in Philly, with the whole Aguilar dropping him. He was catching him unlike Aguilar. We all know that story. But he got a good amount of money. Him and Kendrick Bourne both signed over there. We saw videos recently of Kendrick Bourne working out with Cam Newton. So should be fun, should be entertaining. But yeah, that's the receivers they signed. This is, my opinion, the biggest impact signing. Matthew Judon. They got an edge rusher, man. They got an edge rusher. I mean, they re-signed Lawrence Guy, which was important. They re-signed David Andrews at center, which was important. But this edge rusher is huge for them. First of all, I know he's on the older side and they gave him a longer contract, but Matt Judon is a good NFL football player, a very good football player. Year in and year out, he's around double-digit sacks. He's just a disruptor. He causes problems for opposing teams. And as a Giants fan, I watched last year's Judon absolutely destroyed anyone who played right tackle for the Giants. So, yeah, Judon is a very good ball player. And finally, Van Noy. This is a great signing, in my opinion. So, he went to Miami with Brian Flores. He signed this big contract, and it didn't work out. Frankly, it was a disaster, and he had some friction with Flores. But I think Van Noy coming back to New England, he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's ready to go. And, I think they're going to win some games together this year. So let's talk about these games that they could possibly win together this year. So I did, of course, I did the usual scheduling, and so let's see how it went. So I have, if you saw my other NFC East videos, remember these, or AFC East videos, these are all going to align. I'm obviously not going to give a team a win in one video and a loss in another one, so they're going to align. I have them winning at home versus Buffalo. Tough matchup, but I think Buffalo isn't going to sweep them this year. I have them doing a 1-1. They're going to lose to Cleveland. I think Cleveland is going to be able to do things that Patriots can't handle. I think Baker's going to take a huge step up this year. I have high expectations. Jaguars are still going to be bad, without a doubt. They're the Jaguars, and Trevor Lawrence doesn't change the world. He just changes the future. I'm giving them a loss against Miami, or a win against Miami, excuse me. I can obviously see this game going both ways, but New England usually beats Miami in New England, and they lose in Miami, so that's probably what's going to happen again this year. I have them losing against the Saints. So far, you guys have seen me give the Saints a lot of wins throughout their schedule so far. I just think the Saints are going to win. I have faith in Sean Payton. I do, and we'll get into the Saints more for their video. I have them beating the Jets at home. I believe I did a 1-1 with the Jets as well. So, again, another win at home. Lost to Tampa Bay. I think Tom Brady comes in, and this is going to be a fun game to watch. It's going to be in New England. Crowd's going to be going because there's going to be fans in the stands. We're going to see what happens, but I think Tom is going to walk away the victor here unless Cam Newton does something miraculous. I could see this being like the opening game on Sunday Night Football. I really can. Titans, I have a loss. The Titans have had the Patriots number in the last couple years, and I expect that to continue. When you usually have somebody's number, it doesn't just stop. That you keep beating them. I have them beating Atlanta. I think the Patriot defense could stop that Atlanta offense, especially with the pass rush and the secondary that the Patriots have now crafted. I think Atlanta will surely struggle against them, especially if the Patriots can run the ball the way we expect them to. Like I said, I have them doing 1-1s with Buffalo and Miami, so here's the loss. I have them beating Carolina. Unless Carolina comes out of the woodworks and gets some crazy quarterback, I don't see them being very good. Again, even though I do like what they did in the defense, I have them beating Houston. Again, this is all stemming from Watson not being there. We're not going to get into Watson and his problems, but I don't think Watson will be playing this season in Houston, or maybe not at all, depending on what happens. But against the Colts, a loss. I think the Colts are going to be a great team this year. You'll see in my preview, I'm going to give them a lot of credit, and this is all stemming off of the defense and the potential of Carson Wentz. Not who Carson Wentz has been, but the potential. I have them beating the Chargers. Belichick usually has his way with young quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks, but I can see this game going the other way. Miami, again, a 1-1 and a loss against the Jets. But that last game, the 17th game, is against the Dallas Cowboys, and I believe I have them losing to the Dallas Cowboys, so I have them at 8-9 or 9-8. I have to check that, but I have to check what I put in my other video because these weren't set when I was making the other videos, and now the 17th games are set. I usually, whoever the home team is, will probably take this game. I think these teams are matched. Strength is matched with strength here. So Dallas's offense and New England's defense are the strong points, and then New England's offense and Dallas's defense are very weak. But I could see New England winning this game. I can also see them losing this game. It'll all depend on the location. I think that's what my prediction will be. So I have the Patriots at 9-8 or 8-9, and that is it for my prediction video. Thank you guys for watching again. Like the vid, sub to the channel. I appreciate all the love and support you guys give. Watch those videos. I mean, we're doing pretty well. As this is really a startup, so we're doing pretty well. And I'm really happy of how's it going so far. But remember, like the vid, sub to the channel. It gets me more motivation, get more videos out to you guys. More predictions, more information. So thank you guys, and have a good one.